In this short video, I hope to offer further elaboration on the ideas behind the theories of symbolic interactionism. Put very simply, symbolic interaction is a range of ideas that discuss how we, as human actors, interact with the symbols of our society. A good analogy of this is looking out of a window. We may all look out of a window at the same time, and although we might see the same things going on, we will interpret them differently. In doing so, we are using the ideas our society has given us, through socialization, education, social interaction, and the media, to create ideas of how life exists around us. You will already have been given extracts from a book entitled Outsiders by Howard S. Becker. This book is one example of how symbolic interaction, or SI from now on, is able to offer explanations into the way society is created and experienced by the individuals it is made up of. Unlike Marxism and functionalism, SI sees the world as being made up of individuals, not the macro-institutions that Marx and Durkheim speak of, but the micro-experiences of individuals. Becker's book develops the idea of labeling theory, something that we will go on to look at further as the course develops. However, there are many different ideas present under the umbrella of SI. SI stems from the ideas of Max Weber and interpretivism. From his work came a wealth of ideas developed by Mead, and later on Bloomer, and is associated with the University of Chicago. You will often read passages in textbooks relating to the Chicago School, and this is what it is referring to. SI rejects the view that individuals act like puppets controlled purely by their socialization or the relations of production. SI believes that men and women actively respond to their environment, choosing their actions, telling lies, worrying over the best plan of action, and so on. There are three core elements of SI. These are the symbol, the self, and the interaction. In order to understand our world, we must classify millions of unique objects and people into groups, and give each of these groups a symbol, or a name. For example, the word car encompasses an enormous range of unique objects. Our interaction with the world, however, requires us to apply these groupings and names people as well. Therefore, we are able to use terms such as mother, father, teacher, criminal, fighter, and deviant to the people in our society, all terms that contain a multitude of meaning and represent a wide range of society. These terms, or groups, must then have a response built into them for us to understand what they mean. A doctor may be viewed as a hero, whereas a criminal may be despised. However, these responses are not fixed, and therefore, I may view the doctor as a sign of wealth and control and therefore despise him. The criminal, however, may become my hero. There are many examples where this duality may be possible. Perhaps you might see a heart surgeon as a hero, but Harold Shipman as a villain. Ian Huntley would definitely create a feeling of hatred for many, whereas Nelson Mandela would be seen as a freedom fighter, and not a terrorist. In order to know how to respond to each of these symbols, we must first have an awareness of ourselves. In order to decide what action to take in a given situation, or how to interpret others, we must be conscious of who we are, and where we fit the scheme of things going on. In order to know where we fit in society, we must engage in the third element of SI. This is the element of interaction. Interaction is the key to how society exists and how we move around within it. No interaction is possible unless individuals are aware of others' intentions. Each individual must have the ability to take the role of others, that is, to base his or her actions on the understanding of what they would do in the place of the other. An example of this might be marriage. Consider the ritual of giving wedding bands. One individual may see this as an example of never-ending love, whereas another may see it merely as a financial expense. Others may view it as a sign of wealth, depending on the size of the diamond it holds, but again others may see it as a restriction of their personal freedom. From just one example of a wedding ring, we can see that there are many different labels or signs that can be attached, and therefore many different ways to interpret them. I hope that this short video has offered a greater understanding of symbolic interactionism. And I leave you with a quote from Outsiders, where Becker explains how these labels or signs are used in the context of deviance. Deviance is not a quality of the act the person commits, but rather a consequence of the application by others of rules and sanctions to an offender. The deviant is one to whom that label has been successfully applied. Deviant behavior is behavior that people so label.